Okay, right. It's not Red Skull, it's Soul Ghost. It's not Red Skull, it's Soul Ghost. It's not Red Skull, it's Soul Ghost. Right, here we go. Hi guys, Billy back, and this time we're going to be looking at the 1/6 scale Red Skull. Ah, fuck. Hi guys, this finally arrived after what felt like an age. I ordered this from Hong Kong from 16kit.com quite a while ago, and it was shipping, but unfortunately the block from Hong Kong to USA and UK meant it was sitting in some sort of post office for nigh on 2 to 3 months. So I won't be surprised if people are just getting their figure now, and mine just arrived today, so I decided we were going to take a quick look at this and see what we get. I'm not sure if Minifigure have actually done any other figures. This is coded MF001, so this could actually be their first figure. It comes with one of those very basic boxes that these types of figures tend to come in. He's got Soul Ghost written at the top because he is in no way the Red Skull from Endgame and Infinity War. He's got 1/6 action figure, got a picture of the figure there, doesn't look too bad. Minifigure logo. On the side we've got Minifigure Presents MF001 Soul Ghost 1/6 action figure. Nothing on the back, same on that side, nothing on the top or the bottom. Okay, let's try and open this up. Let's see if we can get like a, let's see if we can do like the iPhone advert. Hang on. Pop! Ah, that's quite satisfying if I'm honest. I'm gonna do that again. Oh, Apple, eat your heart out. Okay, and just inside is a foam top, and it's just got a foam insert. You've got the stand, the base. Figure's outside the box already because I've been playing with it. Okay, let's take a look at the figure itself. Okay, this is not straight out of the box. I've been doing a lot of futzing with it, trying to get this thing into some sort of reasonable state, because when it comes to you originally, the head's loose, that hood is loose, and just the clothing is just, yeah, it's not great, is it? It's not amazing. But saying that, when you futz it around a little bit, you can get it to a bit more of a reasonable state. I'm not too angry about how it's turned out now. It's not too bad, but as we can see all the way around, very simplistic figure. It's not too hard to do. I mean, I would akin this to, you know, a reasonable kit bash that someone like me or you could actually do, except for maybe the hood. That's probably the most tricky part of the whole thing. It took me a while to actually futz with it and get it into some sort of reasonable condition. One of the main problems you're going to have is the hood. It just sort of billows out to the side, it fluffs around. So what I've gone and done is I've dampened that hood with a bit of warm water. Not much, just run my fingers under the tap and then started stroking the hood until it actually went into sort of like a more of a malleable shape. Then I pushed it down like that, and I've managed to get it so the wires come forward and the hood's hiding there. Not only that, but there are strings on the hood here. So what I've managed to do is I've put them up under the arms here. Instead of tying them across his chest like that and making it look like he's got a really weird sort of string in the middle or trying to hide it under here, I've put the strings up under the arms, lifted up this back piece here, pushed them up underneath the hood, bring them back around the arms and tie them up around the shoulders each way. And that pulls these bits forward so that the actual hood can go on a little easier. It's a bit fiddly. It's, you know, I had to use tweezers at one point because of my fat fingers. This isn't a figure you should buy, pull out of the box, plonk on the shelf and be happy with. You're going to do a lot of messing around with it to get it to a reasonable state. Okay, let's quickly zoom in and see the head. Okay, looking at it without the hood, it's not a bad head sculpt. I don't think this is like a recast of the original Hot Toys Red Skull. I believe this is more of an original design. Very, very similar though. But we can see it's got some really nice sort of skin textures up in the head here. Those bones around the cheekbones are really creepy. We can see those eyes are sunken in, and they have darkened it inside so that you can actually make it look a bit more deep. The eyes look okay, but I will say that you know, it's not hard to do eyes nowadays, especially with the transfers. You've just got to put them on straight. We can see there is a seam line in there that's a bit unsightly, and the ears lack a little bit of detail, especially this one. I'm not sure if that's deliberate, and it just looks like it's been hand sculpted and they haven't finished off that ear properly. Very strange. But paint wise, he's got sort of like a deep paint to show off all the crevices, and then he's got sort of like a lighter burgundy sort of red on the outside, just to highlight all the lighter parts of the head. And they've managed to match the neck pretty well, but the neck peg actually stays on this peg more than it does stay inside this head sculpt, so you're going to have to slide this on. And my main gripe with this is when you push it all the way down, it's got quite a long neck, but also when you turn it to the side, it's a little bit of a fat neck. From the side, it doesn't look like it fits that head sculpt very well. It sort of bulges out a little bit. But if we come down and look at the actual fabric on the clothing, we can see it's a fairly simple black sort of cotton type fabric. And they've done some slight weathering around the edges, and they've frayed it really well. Except for right at the back here, they haven't done any fraying along here, which is a bit weird. But then I guess you don't need to see that. You're not going to look at this character from the back very much. Oh, and he nearly fell over, and that's because there is absolutely no support on those foot pegs. I'll show you in a minute what I mean. Just fuss this on, try and put the hood back on. If you want the best effect for this guy, honestly, you're going to want to put that hood on. I do wonder if they actually started washing the fabric, because if they haven't, there's probably a lot of dye in there, and it's going to stain that head sculpt over time, I reckon. Once you put the hood on, don't look too bad. Squeeze it together, it looks like a ute in it. Ah, fam, that's the nurse phone you got. We can come down, we can see this fabric here. It's just, it's a little bit stiff, a little bit flat. I don't think it gives the desired effect that they wanted. It looks okay, but they've done some weathering to it, which is all right. But it's stitched around nicely around the sides here. And then we come down, we can see on the sleeves, they've actually put a wired piece in here, so you can actually reshape these sleeves a little bit to have them puff out a little bit more. Same on this side. You can bring them in so you can tighten this up a lot more. And on the back here, we can see he's got a cape that comes all the way down. You might want to bring this around and tighten it up under the arms so that it doesn't flow out too much, because it can look a little bit separated from the rest of the figure. From the back, he actually looks like one of those cheap Halloween witch costumes you used to get as a kid. Now all he needs is one of those green or orange cardboard witch hats you used to get. And then coming down, it actually improves a little bit around the edges here. They could have done with a third one up here, I reckon, and that could have been a bit more frayed and look a little bit more damaged. But it's nicely weathered around the edges here, and it billows out quite nicely across the shelf. But it might take up a little bit more space than you were expecting. Accessory wise, he doesn't come with much. He does come with this sort of club or walking stick, or I don't know, wizard's staff. Looks okay. It's a little bit toy-like. I think it lacks a little bit of detail, but at least it's got two separate brown colours in there to try and make it look a bit more gnarled and weird. It's quite good around the stem here. It's a bit more twisted and dark, but up the top here, it just looks it looks a little bit like a turd. But he also comes with two separate hands, and they're trigger finger hands, because you remember the bit in Endgame where he actually jumps out of the portal with Uzis and just starts blasting out all the Thanos' army. You know, remember that bit? Oh no, I think that was the Snyder cut. But yeah, at least one of them can hold the staff. He's got his finger sticking out a little bit. And he comes with this Tesseract accessory. However, it's not the best. It's sort of a lump of acrylic that they've sort of cut. But you can see still where all the cut lines are in it. And the, I don't know, if they painted it blue, it looks lumpy and it's not very smooth. It's okay, but it's a bit of a letdown. And then he comes with this super tiny soul stone, and it's about 70% to 100% smaller than it probably should be. It will give you a reasonable effect of him holding a soul stone if you really want him to. And he also comes with this stand. However, it's not very good. I mean, support wise, it keeps wiggling out. It's very loose. Even when you push it right down at the bottom, it's very loose, and the body weight of the actual figure knocks it around, so it doesn't really support it very much. You know, earlier when I said it was like a kitbash, well, actually it feels way more like that when you actually have a look at the body that they've used. Because what they've done is they've used a basic stock body with the tan legs, and they've painted these bits red at the bottom, and they've given me red feet. However, at least I've got a left and a right foot. Some people's was turning up with two right feet or two left feet. But then if you push this all the way up, you can see that is a different colour torso again, and it doesn't really work. Luckily, you're not going to be posing this guy without the bloody clothing on, but you pull the sleeves up, you can see he's got red hands, and he's got a basic milky torso again. But they've managed to paint the neck here to about this level. That does make it feel a lot more like a kitbash than you probably would be used to. I've put this guy on a waist grabber because it seems to hold him a little bit better than the crotch grabbers do. And he definitely needs that support, because those ankles, without any sort of boots or support or anything, they're easily fall over. And when you're trying to futz with this guy all the time, the ankles can buckle and everything, and just make it really inconvenient to work with this guy. Overall, for the price you pay, it's not too bad. It's kind of on the low end of the high-end scale. Only people who actually collect high-end figures kind of know what I mean there. But it's not a bad figure, and it's a really great way to be able to get an Endgame Red Skull on your shelf, because I don't think this is something that Hot Toys are ever going to mess with unless they decide to make a Toy Fair exclusive. It's not like a stylized version of the character like the Idol Crossbones. It's actually a decent figure that will fit in with your MCU collection. You just got to do a lot of futzing and messing with the cloth. But once you've done that, as long as you sit down and take your time, you'll get something reasonably effective. I kind of like how it looks now. It still could do with some work around here, but you know, that's something I can work with in the future. Maybe get some fabric glue and glue some bits down to each other. And it's a pretty good budget release. So if you are on the fence about this guy, I'd say grab him, because I don't know if there's going to be many more of these, and I'm not sure that we're going to get too many of the Endgame Red Skulls anytime soon. Okay guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe. If you could do me a favour now, if you can get the fuck out of my cave, I'm going to put this guy on my Endgame shelf, because I've just realised this is the first character from Endgame that I got. Probably one of the last from Infinity War, but the first from Endgame. Bye bye guys.